Okay, we're recording. Hello,
Ooh.
Heather.
Hello, Scott.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
No. How you doing?
Doing. Every time I hear that, I think of is Joey from Friends. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, we got those all those little coin phrases that we can go back, or even with
Yeah,
Ace Ventura.
and it brings us some. Yeah. Oh,
He had so many funny
it
things.
started. No
And then the other night,
more
I wa-
cowbell.
I watched I watched Bruce Almighty again, and my Nancy never seen it, and that's where that you got that coin the phrase "good." It's good.
Yeah.
Remember that?
It's
And
been a
it's like,
while since I've seen it, but when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, it takes place in Buffalo!" But of course, it wasn't filmed in Buffalo, so I'm like, "Wait a minute." I was ready to see the city. I was living in Arizona. I'm like, where is it? Let's see some buffalo. And it's like, oh well, but still, Channel 7 News, that was great. Yeah.
but
At
yeah,
least we were, in the movie for something other than snow.
yeah, but it's actually a really good movie. That God Morgan Freeman gives Bruce the,
Oh.
the gift.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're God, and how much of a challenge it is of and what would
Running
happen.
the
What would
universe.
happen if someone would just say yes to all prayers?
Yeah.
So it's
And then
all
the
about
riots broke out with the lotteries. Yep.
lottery.
Everybody was
Everyone
getting
wants
$2.
$17, right?
Yeah.
you know, ask for world peace. Everyone. It's not as simple as that. But
Yeah.
here we learn the process that dreams can come true when you're in the right mindset
Yes.
and manifesting and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about granting,
Gratitude.
right. It's not about granting all
Gratitude
prayers.
is the
It's
biggest.
once you figure it out, you can have a better life and existence and happier and all that. But
Yep.
yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. And Morgan Freeman's a gem. I love him.
Oh god, Morgan Freeman can play anything, except for when he plays bad guys. I'm like, no, don't play a bad guy. You're too nice. But that
Yeah.
one movie with Angelina Jolie when he played a bad guy, I was like, oh no, not Morgan. But yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah. Good times.
Hmm.
Okay. Today we're here for your Akashic reading. I've done three others for YouTube now. You're number four. I hope this is a good
Yeah,
experience. Connect
yeah. I
into
love
your
Aries Girls was incredible. I loved Aries Girl. You were rocking it. So, and I
well,
can't think of
cool.
orange now without thinking of Priscilla's Orange Planet. So, yeah, very
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, there's so many planets out in this universe, and it's like, I mean, it's really hard to describe because you just see I mainly just see a vision of something, with orange hue and whatnot, and it's like, we're just kind of tapping into clips of time,
Mhm.
and it's
Yeah, our brains are just
different.
because of being human brain, we just can't wrap around the concept of just how vast our universe is and how we are not the only living, entities in this vast
Oh,
galaxies.
definitely. Especially, I don't know how many are on the planet. Let's just say 5 billion. You know, every
Yeah,
experience all these 5 billion people have, and everything that's happened in the history. Ugh,
yeah.
that would be incredible if someone can tap into everything of that. So I'm gonna go.
There's some I would not want to go to. Let me tell you.
Yeah, and I mean, I had the conversation before with others. Being an old soul and being around the block, having hundreds of lives per se, we've had to have done every single thing. You know, die of a gunshot wound or fall off a bridge or
Hmm.
anything. You know, or been someone that's committed a murder. To experience everything and learn and grow from it. It would be
That's a past life I do not wish to have had. Taking
no,
viciously
neither
taking
neither do
somebody's
I.
life.
I don't want to see it. Right. I don't want to see it. Um,
I mean, I can
but
understand in wars and stuff, but to just,
oh yeah.
be that type
Oh,
of
I
soul to go out and commit just for the hell of it. I think that's more of a darker entity kind of
Hmm.
soul that comes in, and not necessarily just,
It's kind of like
you know.
Ukraine and Russia. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they're, Russia's being the aggressor. Ukraine is fighting for their freedom, So I've sensed that myself with past lives, that fighting for their freedom. You have to do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
There was one report of a Ukrainian that's never fought anything. He was kind of like a reporter, but he stood up and joined the forces. And he was stating that it's either kill or be killed.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I took another human's life, it was hard.
Yeah. I couldn't. I
But
couldn't imagine. Mm-mm.
so let's get rolling. Let's just do a little brief 5-10 second meditation. Just get calm, close your eyes, open your mind, and we'll just talk through it. And when I feel we're ready, we'll just roll. So I want you to just open your mind, bring in your ancestors, connect your heart and soul to the universe, allow your guides and your eternal being open up any records that you need to know today, revelations you may have had before. Okay, think we're ready.
Yep.
So I explained before, I when we upon agreement, if everyone I did before even connecting to the Akashic, I was always getting like previsions. It happened with every single one I've done so far for online here. And for you, I was seeing like this fairy with huge wings, like a dragon or something. It was really weird. And then another one, I was seeing you as a Native American woman in a tribe on the East Coast, kind of, in your kind of in the East Coast. So we'll get to them later, but it was just really strange because you made the agreement. Yes, I can do it. And all of a sudden, I seen you as a Native American woman. And this feels long ago, like, and then there was some kind of movement going west, and it's kind of like what happened.
Yeah. There were
The
tears.
tribes lose their land. They get pushed out by the British or everyone coming. But it feels like you were that. And I don't understand yet what that fairy dragon is.
It sounds like Maleficent. If anyone's ever seen Maleficent, that the movie, when I saw that with the big beautiful wings and how she flew and she protected the land and the flowers and the elementals, every hair, even now, every hair in my body just stands up and I get goosebumps. So I immediately, when you said that, I felt like that connection, and whew, I'm just getting shivers right now.
I
So
mean,
I
I have
understand.
to, I have to go look at that movie, but the vision I was shown, it looked humanish. But if you
Mm-hmm.
ever look at a picture of a fairy, they kind of flutter. They would be portrayed of that.
Yeah.
But the vision was kind of like a full person, but it had all that shimmering light clothing a fairy would have, right? But then I was seeing these huge wings that were just going whoosh, like a thunderbird or a dragon, or I'd have to look back at Maleficent movie, whatever. But like I said, it wasn't black, it wasn't dark. It was
Mm-hmm.
like shimmering light all over, but there was, like I said, it looks like a fairy with all this light color clothing, but these massive wings. So hopefully you can delve into what the heck that meant. But But those are the two visions
That's
I got
cool.
immediately for you. Okay, start with the normal. Um, how old your Earth soul is, and see what number. So, like for Alice, and I was getting approximately 35 years ago. That was be definitely in the million. So let's see what number pops up for you. I'm seeing about 23,000 years ago. Um, above that, it's kind of like 23, 280 or something like that, but exact numbers don't really matter. Okay, how many lives on Earth? So, like, I usually represent, like, usually Lemurian time. There's been other lives, we have Neanderthals and dinosaurs and, indigenous folks back 80, 100,000 years ago that we know about, but it's kind of like it's where I start at. Usually the Lemurian time, we're talking 50,000 or so plus. But I'm sensing about 23. Okay, how many lives, Earth lives, have you had? They're showing me about 180. Um, how many male and female of the 180? About 100 have been female. So you've been more of female energy, what I'm sensing here. Okay, how many times were you like an intuitive, connecting to spirit, having a sense of all things of the 180? It's a lot of times. It's kind of like under 60. It's a pretty good number for being intuitive, connected to the universe. I think it don't matter. Generally, that's a pretty good number. I mean, some I've sensed 40, some I've sensed 90. So that's actually a good number. How many times have you been a seer or a psychic or definite message giver? Out of it says about 22. About 22 I'm getting here. That's quite a few.
Wow.
Um, let's see. Anything else? I think that's all the numbers. Okay. So let's see what I can sense as far as your spirit guides and whatnot. So let me look at you here. Okay. Who's your Akashic guides here? Um, there's a male and a female energy. And when I tap into that, these are they've never been living beings. They're entities sent from the God source to guide you forever. They're which I believe is the record keepers. These are the record keepers of you. Um, names are only for you. They don't really have names. It's kind of like giving a name to a light being, right?
Yep.
So whatever you want to name them, it doesn't matter. But and it's just the dominant energy, male and female. It doesn't have to be male and female, but it's the dominant energy. Who else? Let's see. Who else is guiding you? Um, there's a there's a male dominant energy I'm sensing here. Is one. Um, I'm being told this male hasn't been alive. It's kind of like This guide has been created through earth energy, kind of like an elemental type. Um, there's many like this that guide people, but he's this. It's kind of like your main two guides I just said, but it's different. There's more. There's more power to the intuition that I'm showing here. Um, Male. This guide brings in. I think it's why you're drawn to crystals and stuff. Also, um, I'm being shown green light energy from this. Uh, Something about the power of creation, but there's shown like green, some kind of a green earth energy. Wants you to hold. What crystals are green? I'm not a crystal.
Oh, which crystals are
Not,
green? Okay.
there's like
Uh, there's malachite and there's calcite. There's emerald.
oh, emeralds, yeah.
There's peridot, olivine. So lots of different
So
green crystals and
I'm not.
stones.
It's not a dark emerald green. It's kind of like a light green. I'm not sure what the color is, but saying you should be attracted and hold light green ones. Doesn't The type doesn't really matter, but light green for some reason is something you. Is that a crystal ball? Or was that?
It's obsidian. It's green obsidian. This is
Was
made from volcanic ash, heated and formed into a sphere. This is one of
oh,
my favorites. I'm at peace whenever I hold on to this.
well, that could be it then. Because as long as it's light
I
green,
have several. Yeah, this is one
cool.
of them. I have a lot. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Behind the scenes, you mentioned someone else. Um, who was that again?
Oh, my spirit guides. I have a great grandmother way back. Her name, all I know is her name was, first name was Ava. I don't know her middle name. I mean, her last name. Um, so I don't know what her maiden was. All I know is her name is Ava, and she was married to a gentleman with the last name of Cassidy. And she has been a guide to me on and off for many years, and I'm recently connecting again with her, and I feel her around a lot.
Okay. I think you are correct here, but what I'm sensing here, I'm not sure why, but to, this female energy you're talking about, Ava, is not around all the time.
Okay.
Um, it's not like a direct source. The male energy I'm sensing here is a bit more power over for you. Um, I actually think right now why I'm feeling this is that Ava is preparing you for another guide, which is going to help you increase your intuition. Um, she's been guiding your belief system for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
healing, uh, being part of spirit, being uh, just trying to like direct your life. Um, but the reason why I think I feel like she's been, off doing other things and then comes back, it feels like you're coming into a different time. Like I think she's like ready to help a transfer of a new one coming in. But yeah, I believe you're correct though. She has been guiding you for quite a long time.
Was she any type of like medicine woman, a village witch, a herbalist, a healer of some kind in her lifetime?
Um, her lifetime.
Yeah, was she that type of individual? I've had some people tell me she was, but I like to see if we
I
can maybe
I am not.
verify that.
I'm not seeing witch or anything like that. Um,
Or medicine woman or anything. Okay.
um, I think she was in previous lives. If that may, I think that's anything that connected, but no, this. So she has graduated, you know, to be a guide. This is other lives
Okay.
she's had. What I'm getting here. So I think that's what was being picked up there. Her last
Okay.
life, no. I mean, it was all about balance. She feels like she was psychic in her last life, that kind of feeling, but
Yeah,
nothing,
definitely. Okay.
like ritualistic or
Mm-hmm.
that was other lives. I mean, she graduated to a soul to be a guide, so that's very important.
Okay.
But there, it's just like the only words I'm getting from that is like life experience. Everything's about life experience. She's not telling me a timing, but you'll know what happened. It'd be like one of those times, like an awakening, through a dream. Yeah, I mean, you'll get the dream about a transfer or someone leaving kind of feeling, and then it's like a whoosh
Okay.
of power when you know someone else becoming it. You can even ask in dream, whatever, who to call that male. I mean, even meditating with that crystal you said you held up.
Well, I think I know his name. I think his name is Sam. I was told once before I have a very strong native like male energy that is always on my right hand side that's protective and guiding me. They said he's very strong. He's the first one a lot of people feel when they've read me in the past. So
Yeah,
that could very well be him. And I got the, kind of
yeah.
like the name Sam. So I call him Sam.
All right, there you go. If you feel it, just go with it. It doesn't matter,
Okay.
whatever. But that makes a lot of sense because, like I said, he felt very connected to Earth,
Mm-hmm.
very connected to Earth energy. Okay, so now what's up with this fairy dragon here? Okay, something about medieval times. Um, I'm getting a sense of Britain area.
Mm-hmm.
This is very old. Um, if they, if, let's see. This may actually be something you've seen instead of actually been. Um,
What does that mean? You mean seen in meditation in this
no,
lifetime? Okay.
and almost like real life. So
I've been to a few
dragons.
run fairs.
Dragons have been mystical
Okay.
in the past, but
Mm-hmm.
this thing is real. Um, it almost became, it's not like a entity that would just show up, all the time guiding, but this was actually something back in the day that kind of like a worship thing. It's like this was our guiding spirit,
So we worship the dragon?
kind of. Yes. Um,
Okay.
this is so long ago,
Mm-hmm.
hard to tap into. Um, it's another entity like like even seeing fairies or seeing this what I call it before, like a thunderbird coming over, an entity. But this was kind of like like even in Egyptian times or whatever, you'd see all these um, sculptured pictures of what they would call angels or
Feelings.
entities with the wings, or whatever. But this feels more like it's up in the British area, though.
Hmm.
I
Now
mean,
I'm
that
pretty
whole
sure I had a past life in Avalon as a priestess. Could that be the connection? The
where's
Isle
that
of
one?
Avalon. It's in Glastonbury. It's in the
Oh,
lower half of Great Britain.
let's
That
see.
might be a separate lifetime.
When was this time? When was this time? This almost feels like 4,000 some years ago.
Okay. Oh, that's old. Okay.
This is a long time ago.
Okay, so that's way before
There's
Avalon.
always
Okay.
these early civilizations. It feels like the people needed something to wish upon, something to believe that's real when they're trying to start out. Because and it's not like today where you have cities of millions of people. We're talking thousands.
Yeah.
What's our purpose, whatnot. So these entities would come from the heavens. They even could be extraterrestrial, but it's more of a image. So it feels
Mhm.
like they would. I don't know the name, but they would. It's kind of like their god, right? Like today people prey upon Jesus. Back then in this area they were preying upon this fairy dragon, whatever it looked like, but it's very loving. Pretty cool. Yeah, at first I was thinking, oh, maybe it's you, but no, it was a worship. It was a worship dragon. It was
Mm.
it was strange. Okay, the other one I was seeing you was a Native American woman, like an elder, and I was sensing it was over in the East Coast, kind of where you are. For some reason I was getting the hit of Maryland. So let's see what this is about. So yeah, that this was, I think it was northern Maryland. But this was all um, before the white man started coming in. There's Yeah, so I'm being shown like teepees, just a small village type. There was under 4,000 in the tribe. It was pretty relatively small village, I guess. So what I'm sensing here is you were like so you had the chief and you were like the chief's wife. What I'm sensing here. Um, there was there's rituals. Um, there's I'm being shown beings in the sky. I was trying to figure this out, but they're just lights. They're more like lights. It's not like a space brothers whatever coming down to help this village, but there's like lights, so it's almost like a worship thing, like worship to the spirit.
Eboni's?
Yeah, it's more like Ibani's. Yeah, you've said that you are
Mm,
fascinated.
I just
So
learned about it. Yeah.
I'm like seeing like the community coming together and worship and like dancing and all that normal things you might read about, but it's more like they were worshiping to Ibanis because it's like these light beings would come down and just send energy and kind of love, but they were a whole bunch of light beings. Um, they were actual, but they would present themselves of like Ibanis, like you're saying, like these. I'm just seeing all these light beings around while they were doing their worship, and they would only come. It's like they were calling them, like you said before. So they do their worship ceremonies, and then, but towards the end here, of your life there, I'm sensing you witness the whole problems of the white people coming in and pushing them out. So there was, arguments. There was contracts or trying to. So whenever that time frame is, I'm not positive when that move happened. It feels 1500, 1600 ish maybe. Um, but it wasn't a great time towards the end.
Yeah.
You died an old woman, an old proud woman of the tribe. Um, Not really wars, but there was some unfortunate murders within your tribe. Kind of like pressure when the white people were coming in to try to take over land. So that's very
Oh,
unfortunate. But I'm
okay.
not like seeing major fighting. It's more of a conflict to push out.
Were we
But
a
yeah, that
peaceful
was
tribe?
what's that?
Were we a peaceful tribe? More used to peace than to
Oh,
war?
very
Okay.
spiritual. Yes, very spiritual, very family oriented.
Okay.
Just wanted to exist.
Yeah, we are.
Very connected to spirit, and it feels like their worship was these Ibanis or these light beings. Um, you, oh no, your husband would get messages. You were, I don't think you were like I mean, you were tapped in, but I think it was the husband, the elder, the chief there. He would get the messages from the Ibani. So it's like they're doing all these rituals, and then the chief would give the messages to the people to what we're supposed to do next, and uh, it it's pretty cool. But unfortunate towards the end there was conflicts, and the tribe eventually had to leave the area. Um, it feels like they moved out towards feels more like the middle of the U.S. They kept pushing, maybe Arkansas or whatever, but it feels like they kept moving. They did cross the Mississippi, I'm saying, when they eventually settled again later. Okay.
Do they give you like the first letter of the name of the tribe that I can maybe research?
I think it was a P name. The
Okay.
original tribe was a, I think it was a P name.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
behind the scenes, we're talking about Shawnee or Cherokee, but I'm seeing a
No, but the
P.
yeah, there's like three of them in that area. They had a P name, so I'll research those.
It feels like it's long. Like I would not be able to get this, but it feels like a long P name. That was the original. I mean, I see combining of
Hmm.
some, to start a different tribe, but the
There's
original
five of them
feels
with
like,
the beginning of the P.
but it's long. I'm seeing some multiple letters, but it's longer. It's not like a short Shawnee or Cherokee. I mean, it feels
Hmm.
like 9 letters.
Oh yeah, that's just stood right out. Okay, I'll share that to you later, so I don't interrupt your
Okay,
connection.
so let's see where else we need to go. All right, since I was sensing about 23, that's definitely the Lemurian time.
Yes, Lemurian.
Okay, yeah, you had about 8 lives there. There was also extraterrestrial lives in between. You were
Hmm.
up and down, up and down. It feels like. Um, God, every time I get in the Lemurian area, it's just so comforting.
Mm-hmm.
A better time, you know. Okay, what are we doing in Lemuria?
It was.
Um, I'm not sensing you were any, like leader or anything. You're just part of the dream. I'm hearing part of the dream. There's a long running. You did do some traveling though to other continents,
Mm-hmm.
to try to bring in to see what's out there actually. So you were like an explorer.
Mm.
At least a couple of them. Um, most of them don't feel like anything fabulous. Just just working, raising family, but there's two of them you were like exploring other lands. Because I'm seeing a boat, like an old type boat. Um, there was no aircrafts, any kind of technology that way. It's more like boat sails, exploring that way. Because after a certain amount of time, everyone's wondering, like, is this the only land? Is where we live is the Earth round? There's not technology like that. So I'm seeing you exploring other lands. I'm getting you did find indigenous people in your travels. It feels like mostly northwest, which would technically be like Middle East, Egypt, and or Africa.
Okay.
Um, but it didn't go very far because most lands weren't inhabitable back then. What I'm being told,
Mm-hmm.
maybe half of Earth was actually ice. Kind of feels like, but yeah, you did connect with other people, and then towards the end, it feels like there was some integration going on.
What
And
was
then there's
going on?
the integration of other people because it feels
Integration.
like,
Okay.
yeah, because it feels like what I'm seeing here is like originally what I'm sensing here is Lemuria. They were one race.
Mm-hmm.
There was no, what do you want to call it, experiments. There was
Yeah. Nice.
It feels like there's more, like only one race there. Like not like today. We have Asians, you have Japanese, you have Chinese, you have
And just to
Mongolian,
clarify, when I
Russian.
say nice, I mean the fact that it's nice that the peoples of that time were not, um, tested on and this and that, because some of it gets a little scary. So I just want to make sure I clarified that,
Right.
that's what
I'm
I
not
was
saying
referring to. Yeah.
I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying testing experiments. No,
Yeah,
it's very
experiments. Yeah.
gentle. But there were, but towards the end there was, as people evolved, they did have the ego start coming in. So I'm feeling like some people started getting cast away from the euphoric society. What I'm seeing here. Um,
Ooh,
there was
euphoric.
one. There was one. You did have a leadership role. It feels like kind of like a mayor of a village or something like that. You were a male, so there was a leadership role of kind of like guiding people. You would Our space brothers would come down often. They would help out, whatnot. I think you could. I think you actually talked with them. What I'm seeing here, telepathy talk, kind of like, kind of like feels like the secret meetings kind of feeling. Kind of like they were being told how the civilization is supposed to expand and grow, and
Hmm. I was in the
pretty neat.
loop.
Yeah, you were in the loop at least one there towards the end, because it feels like there was this plan, for Lemuria, and it started going sideways a little bit towards the end. So I think you were helping stay on course, kind of like being guided. Okay, let's go from there. Um, I'm seeing only one life in. For some reason, I'm going straight to like Egyptian pyramid time. This is about maybe 1000 BC. Um, so I'm being shown you were a male in the family of a pharaoh, somewhere around 1035. That's the number that pops in my head. You were actually a brat. So like you were obsessed with power. You were obsessed with
Oh,
being your own king. I think you were. It feels like you were actually trying to turn on your father, whoever the pharaoh was at this time. So maybe you can Google around 1000 who the pharaohs were, or whatever. But so it feels like you were. This whole learning experience is about the ego, about the type of person you should be, because you were actually a bad person.
hey, you gotta take the bad with the good.
You're right, because you feel like you were royalty. I can do whatever I want. I could take this person as my wife, or I can just have this person. Um, you would revolt against your father, meaning like talk behind his back and stuff. It's your this feral father feels like he was not one of the better ones. So it's kind of an inherited thing. Um, uh, your mother may have been cast away, kind of like he had children, but then he would take another wife. He was like, "I'm done with you." So I think you had hatred towards your feral father there, that you casted mom away, so you just became a rebellious one, and you had your own grandeur, grander powers of being pharaoh, that kind of thing. But I think it was a learning lesson of the side of being greedy and egotistical and not how to treat people. I think that's so you're on the upper echelon of being a bad person. Um, I'm getting here. You know, you did not get to be um, a pharaoh. Um, Maybe look that up too. Of it feels like you actually passed from being assassinated because of your actions. So see if any of that relates, or you can find any information on there. But that just feels like that's the whole feeling of that life. Just seeing the side of greed, power, and not treating people as humans. That kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I do sense you really loved your mother. You just didn't like your dad.
Yeah.
You wanted man. You know, feels like you almost plotted to want to have him assassinated so you could take over. That kind of feeling.
That's how it was back in those days,
But
unfortunately.
you really did care for your mom though. She was a good, what do you call it, wife of the pharaoh, whatever they call them.
Now, I was told I had another past life in Egypt, but do you want me to wait until you're done processing what the guides are giving you right now?
Well, if I'm in Egypt, go ahead. What you think or heard?
Yeah. So I was told I was actually a princess of a family, of a royal family, and that I was actually murdered by one of my brothers by drowning. And what's interesting is that in this lifetime, I was actually saved from drowning by a brother, but I was told that I
Mm,
was a princess that was murdered by my brother for whatever known reason. I was drowned in the Nile. He killed me. And that would make sense because of my connection with my brother in this lifetime.
mm, okay. Yeah, yes, of sorts, but I'm not seeing pharaoh. You know, like in the pharaoh's family.
Okay.
Um, so anytime I think of the pharaohs and whatnot, it's always like the
Hmm.
centralization of the pyramids and whatnot, right?
Okay.
This is I'm being shown above that area, so it feels like a hard to say, like a tribe. But yeah, I am getting a princess type feeling, but I believe that's correct. It's a town above Cairo or whatever the pyramids are. Look
Okay.
that up, but it's a village or something above. I mean, there is a. It's in that area. Yes. How to describe? But there is a princess type feeling or of some type of royalty. It may be part of that village or that town area, city,
Okay.
but I'm not getting a connection to the pharaohs.
Okay.
Maybe
So no pharaoh.
like a sub royal family feeling. You know, like extended family of a pharaoh.
Gotcha.
But there is some type of royal feel. But I do believe that's correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. For some reason I'm not sensing you wanting anything to do with Atlantis.
Ooh.
Um,
Because I believed I was there at least once.
yes, I'm trying to get there because it's showing me like in the outskirts, Um, not in. So let's say it's an island. I'm seeing you on like on the edge. So you know what was going on there, and this feels like it's towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's like you lived it, but you didn't want anything to do with it. What was going on towards the end? I think you were only there towards the end of the existence there. Um, it feels like you were trying to do. You were working to subvert what this technology they were trying to create. So
Okay.
let's use the example. You were Antifa, right? You were the good guys. You know, you seen what the bad guys were trying to do. I'm seeing you as like almost like a scientist or something in that order, but you were trying to stop what was going on here. But you were um, a small part of the faction of
Perfection.
Atlanteans, but you were, I don't know, it's almost like a little island of like Alcatraz. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Alcatraz is an island, so I'm seeing this building, work being done, but you were away from the major part of it. So yeah, I think you were there in that area, yeah, but for some reason I'm only getting once. But you were actually
Feels
one of
right.
the good ones. That's what I was
Was I
sensing.
male or female in that one?
Female. I'm seeing female.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for. Yep. There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see where else we need to go.
That resonates.
For some reason I'm getting New Mexico. And I'm not sure what this relates, but it's something about trading. I'm seeing the covered wagons, um, shushin doggies kind of feeling. Um, you were a man. You're running. It's almost like bootlegging. You're bootlegging through the all areas of upper north New Mexico area. So we're going here and there. You had routes to go where you were moving trade. Um, this is probably in the mid 1700s, I think. You really didn't have a time for any family. It feels like. Um, I think you did have children with multiple wives, but you were just busy trying to make money. It just feels like you were a bootlegger. I don't know why this makes sense, but you did explore, and um, it feels like all Southwest. I mean, like you were part of this like some kind of group.
I love the Southwest.
Yeah, there's you were in a lot of different areas, but it feels like it was centralized in New Mexico, upper New Mexico. Hmm. It's about all there. I mean, it doesn't feel fantastic or anything. You know, it's just like it feels like you had a lot of children here and there, but you were um, loyal to no one. It just kind of greedish. There was a lot of booze. So a lot of booze. You may have been running booze or something. I don't know. Mostly booze. Something about guns too and bullets. So it feels like you kind of like ran this business. They did a lot of traveling around the Southwest in that aspect. Cut. For some reason I'm seeing Czechoslovakia area. So I'm kind of getting a little bit of Russian. You bounced around a little bit. It isn't like you centralized in one place. It's like you'd be here, you'd be there, you'd be up there. Um, what were you doing there? You're a female in this life. Feels you like you were a painter, isn't it?
Oh, you just gave me shivers. I was just thinking of a favorite artist of mine in that area, and then you said painter. Okay,
Yeah, I'm seeing artistic work. Um, I'm not.
that's cool.
You parted yourself or divided your or you fantasized yourself as from another person that was older or passed earlier. I don't know if it's Van Gogh or whatever. But someone was older or famous painting. So it feels kind of like abstract, kind of whoever did that, like 13, 1400s, whatever.
Oh, 13, 1400s. Okay, this is not who I'm thinking of then, but okay.
Yeah, this is a long time ago. But
Oh,
yeah,
I was gonna say.
I see
Okay.
paintings. Yeah, you're relatively famous. I'm saying, whoever this was. Um,
That's saying something for a female.
yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing like you're well known. I don't see a Google sensing like there would be a Google, but this is long, real long time ago. There's actually a lot of paintings, artistry work of leaders around the world, like doing portraits, that kind of thing, but
Portrait.
kind of abstract, kind of like
Hmm.
almost like the artist today that would draw a picture of a leader today, but make it funny-ish
Yeah,
or
but that
different.
wasn't in the 13 and 1400s. That was more around the time of the 1800s when that type of art became popular and was
Hmm.
accepted.
I don't
Interesting.
know. This is
I'll
just
study.
like this just feels like it's a lot older.
Okay.
Like
Kind of like caricatures too.
yeah, kind of like characters. I mean, it wasn't. I think it was like you tried. It wasn't really accepted though. You know that kind of feeling. But yeah, I don't know who this artist. I'm not really getting a huge hit, but this feels like 13, 1400s this artist, but you may have been a little bit older, or I mean, up
He
closer.
was. Oh,
You're
okay.
right. He was older. What I'm sensing is 13, 1400s maybe.
So I was like his protege
No, you were just
or
inspired.
pupil.
You
Oh,
were just
just inspired. So
inspired.
no pupil or anything. Okay.
No, no, you were your own artist. You were guided.
Okay.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I'm sensing you had a few children. Um. Uh. You had a long marriage, but ended up divorcing for some reason. Became unhappy, and then didn't marry again. But you had a couple children, though. What I'm seeing here. Okay. But yeah, I think that's a lot where your inspiration comes from.
Yeah, I figured I had at least one, if not a couple of ones from the art. So
Okay.
cool.
Where else do I need it? A lot of them they don't really want to go to, so it may have been brutal because you already said you don't want to know. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You don't want to know about wars. You don't want to know about bad deaths or whatever it is.
Well,
But
I mean, war's been so innate in our
yeah,
human on Earth
there's been a
history, so I know I must have been through some horrible shit. So
yeah, we all have, and we kind of like to hopefully keep those out of our minds.
I do have a past life that I would like to ask you about when you're done, though.
No, you can go right now because I'm just guiding, so I can go anywhere.
Okay. I definitely had a past life on the Titanic. Can you help me with that?
Okay, I better
I was
write
told I was a male
Titanic.
officer.
When did the Titanic go down again? I forgot that date.
1912.
1912 Titanic.
Yep. I mean, I've had dreams and everything about this damn boat.
I mean, everyone that's been, I've heard a lot of people talk about it. So
Hmm.
fascinated by it. It's like there wasn't that many people that have all the lives and souls being connected.
But when you're 10 years old and you're asking your librarian if they have any books on the Titanic and you're looking for it and you don't even know what the Titanic
Right.
is, you're
I
looking
totally
back at
get
things
yeah.
like that's how it started with me was about
Yeah.
10 years old.
Cool. Titanic, 1912. Heather. Akashic.
And I know the story is not what they told what
Um,
happened.
I think you worked in the engine room.
Okay.
I'm seeing a white uniform. I'm not seeing you up above. Yeah, I think you were one of the ones that couldn't get out. 'Cause I'm seeing you in the engine room kind of thing. I mean, not one of the ones kicking coal, you know, because I don't see you dirty. But I'm seeing a male, relatively young, 25 to 35, but
Hmm.
and I'm seeing you mostly in the lower decks. So like you might have been a steward but worked for the yeah. I think you ushered people out.
Hmm.
But you stayed behind or couldn't get out or something.
I was told I was one of the very few staff that was male that made it off the boat. But that's interesting. I will go through
Um, did,
issuing people out.
did
Okay.
you? I'm being told no. I think you went
Okay.
down with it.
Down with it. Okay.
You you were planning on it. You were like really close to getting off. There was something wrong with the last boat or something, like it was broke or it snapped because you were planning on getting on this one
Hmm.
and something broke, so they couldn't use one of them or the last one kind of feeling. But technically, yeah, I'm feeling you were more getting people off. It was chaotic.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, being part of the staff, you wouldn't be allowed to go unless you were one of the stewards helping on each boat. So
Yeah.
I think you were planning to get off, but yeah, something about the last boat available broke or snapped or fell when they were
Okay.
trying to get it off.
Any possible name that they might give you? First name, last name, any kind of initial?
Feels like Charles
It'd be
or a
like a
C name.
okay.
2025 to 35. There may be a record because I'm seeing if there's
Mm-hmm.
someone that worked on there, and I'm seeing the white outfit. So like I said, I don't see you shoveling coal or one of the passengers. They're showing me like lower decks, not like up. I'm not I'm not seeing you in the dinner or hot dining hall. You're working, so you're one of the crew. What I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking.
The lower decks make sense because I have always known that the story of what happened isn't truly what happened, or was wasn't completely true. So I've always felt that as a child. So thank you for that.
All right, we'll give that a shot. See if you can figure something out. But I was feeling like a C name, like a Charles or Charlie or
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Okay.
Um, I give that a shot. Oh gosh, we're already an hour. Wish I could find more here. See if anything else.
Can I ask just one more before we're done?
I wish I could go elsewhere. But yeah, maybe just ask any of your senses. Go over there.
Avalon, the Isle of
Avalon.
Avalon. I was a priestess.
Okay, Avalon
I
is where again?
is in Glastonbury, England. It's not far from where Stonehenge is.
Oh, okay.
It's that is that
Avalon.
whole area right there
Avalon.
in England.
Is there a story about a buried or possible structures in the water near there?
They've been doing a lot of excavating. They're doing more now with um, the underground penetrating radar, the lidar. Um, they're discovering more that Stonehenge was vaster. There's areas in England where they're starting to find other, because at one point Glastonbury used to be water, and where the Tor is used to be completely surrounded with water. And then when the Christianity came in, they drained it and turned it into farmland. So there might be something. I've always felt that there was a structure in or under or around where the Glastonbury Tor is in that whole area. So I think you're onto something.
How big is Avalon there? Is it
Oh,
surrounded by
Glastonbury.
water or well, I just wonder what you know because I'm being shown there's like a structure or a
Here.
pyramid or something under the water. Like that collapsed or fell into the ocean or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, what
Um,
they did do was they tried building a Catholic church on top of the Tor, which was believed to have been where the original priestesses lived and did their rituals and their work and their healing and stuff. And at one point there was an earthquake or something happened, and everything that's just left, I'm pulling up a picture, is a standing structure, and it was called St. Michael's, and it's
hmm.
called the Tor. So I'm going to just bring up Glastonbury Tor up here really quick and show you a quick picture, because I've always felt that there is something below there, and other people have too.
Yeah, there's definitely something below.
So let me just get you an aerial picture here. Oh, come on. Oh, I hate these stupid ads. Okay, so
How far away is Avalon from?
here.
Um,
So you can see see that tall building in the distance? That's what's left of
yeah.
the church, and that whole thing is called the Glastonbury Tor. And this whole area used to be all underwater, which gave the Avalon the name of the shimmering isle, because there was water surrounding it. So right now, that's what's left. That's St. Michael's, the
Oh,
surrounding
okay.
area,
So in the
and
distance there, it's all. ocean or sea or whatever.
Yeah, and that's what's left of the church, the Tor. That's
Oh
this,
wow.
where they go.
Okay.
But yeah, people feel and believe that there's something underneath there. They've been talking about it for years.
Oh well, there definitely is. Okay. Avalon area. How far away is it from
Oh, glass,
Stone?
from Stonehenge. Oh my goodness, I think it's like only an hour away, if that. I mean, it's
Okay.
all the ley lines all connect
Okay.
through that whole area with Stonehenge, with Glastonbury, and through. It's all part of the ley line. It's called the St. Michael and St. Mary ley lines in that area.
Some I definitely a female there. This is
Hmm.
being I don't know. I don't know if the connection's fading a little bit or what, but
Okay.
it's a it's a memory or that's not prevalent because it's kind of like it's not coming to me as
Okay.
easy. I don't think it's dark, but
Hmm.
it's there's a I'm definitely feeling female. Um, so when do you think that change happened with the flooding and whatnot, according to
Uh,
what you research?
this is when Christianity really started taking its hold and going through Europe. Um,
Um, so
it's connected with the
that would
King
probably
Arthur
be
legend and everything. So I'm not
a
sure
thousand.
how.
That'd be like 1,000 AD or so.
Yeah, it's
In
been a while. It's
Christianity,
been yeah.
because before that, the Romans were
Yeah.
definite, you know, in their kind of rule, and then Christianity and England and Britain and everything was probably around that area, springing up their own and the break from the Roman Empire,
Yep.
if my memory serves
Hmm.
properly.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not very fond at all for the Romans. Um, so I'm assuming that has some connection to what happened to that poor island.
This whole, but yeah, the definite. I think you're onto something. I believe that because there is something about a structure that's been flooded or underground. There, it feels like that was the original worship building kind of feeling.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, priestess. Do you think there was multiple priestess? Because it feels more like a family.
Hmm. Um.
There's more than there was more than you. There was multiple. What I'm
Oh
saying.
yeah, it was a whole community of women. Um, According to the legends, between what people have, like you've done intuited or try to connect with spirit, with legends trying to piece apart what's fiction with the whole King Arthur section and Morgan
Sure.
Le Fay being. I mean, it's really hard to kind of separate where, because when the Christians came in, the traditional stories were rewritten from the monks' points of view, and so a lot of the feminine deities, priestesses, and everything got all demonized, and so it's kind of hard to really. You have to really sit there and try to separate what was fact from what was rewritten, and then you have people trying to connect on a spiritual level, so it's difficult. We may never truly know, but I've always sensed, and then there are some people who do feel that there is another structure located in and around underneath there. Most definitely.
Well, maybe that's why it's kind of dark. It could have been the ending, kind
Hmm.
of feeling like being cast out, maybe.
Yeah,
Like or
that's how my
demonized,
ending was.
demonized. demonized as witches or something like that.
Hmm. I've done meditations where I've seen the Christian church come for me in that temple of where I fit, where I keep feeling there was on that land, and it was not a happy ending.
Okay, that's probably why it's
Or I had to flee, one or the other.
okay.
So,
That's probably why it was so faint. Because, like I said before, we talked about you don't want to know anything dark, that kind of feeling.
well, you got to have the light with the dark, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But I just wanted just confirmation, and that helped me a lot. So yes,
So there's kind
thank
of
you.
like I'm guessing you didn't. I don't know. It's probably like why there's a subconsciously maybe you have this block on darkness. Yeah, maybe that's why it's a little bit more blocked in
Hmm.
a sense. So I guess it may be a lesson for um, other Akashic readings that open to everything
Yeah.
because you have this. It feels like there is this block to your soul a little bit. Like I'm not going there. So
I hear you.
just whatever comes in, for so I think I got there where I wanted to go with you, but it was more difficult than others. I sense so maybe your soul has a little block
Hmm.
on different things.
You're not the first person that's told me that.
I mean, this is about the Akashic, where I was trying to go and what you were hoping to look for, because some things felt like I don't want to go there. It's all part of the process of learning where you've been, good or bad. Generally, everything's always been pretty loving and learning. So I mean, this is maybe a lesson for me when we're doing these, and even for the person, it doesn't matter because some of them I had to actually feels like I had to fight for, like this one,
Hmm.
and even the Titanic.
Hmm.
I mean, even though he did, you know, what I sensed anyway, that he went down with the ship,
And then make it. Yeah.
you know, and this ending here with this priestess you were sensing about, the ending wasn't good. No one wants to know about the ending being bad, right? But it may be a learning lesson
See,
or
I told my
whatever.
guides just to open up and let Scott know what he needs to know. So I figured there was going to be some, darkness in there with the light, and I was willing to accept,
Oh,
whatever came through with an open mind and heart.
hmm. Maybe it goes
But maybe
beyond
they're
that.
protecting me. Maybe I'm not supposed to know yet. That
That
could
could
be it
be.
too.
It could be your own soul's desire of not needing to know yet, or I mean, I think it went pretty good. I was hoping to find
Oh, I
more.
loved it,
I mean, there's others.
and I
I was
appreciate
definitely
you doing this
sensing
for
a
me.
lot. I was definitely sensing a lot in the universe beyond. So you've been there, but I wasn't getting any direction, towards any planetary system or anything like that. Um,
I may have to learn that on my own at some point. You know.
um, I'm not sensing any you being like any kind of dark group. It's just um, the major groups that we've talked about with the Andromedans, Arcturian, Pleiadians, all these higher soul, higher
Higher
soul evolved,
vibrating. So, yeah,
evolved extraterrestrial that we've talked about.
that
I think,
feels good.
yeah, I think we've been involved in most of those. Um, there's one that's more prevalent. I'm sensing. Um,
Okay.
I think it's the
Mm-hmm.
Arcturian ones mostly. That
Yeah,
feels more
we
dominant.
talked about that. Yeah. That's probably where that one spirit guide comes from. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
you've been, like I said, it definitely since you've been around the block, all over. I know originally when we were getting into the Lemuria there, it felt like a long time, but it's like you were there a couple lives, and then you were up for missing a few lives
Yeah.
because
Explains why I'm a Sagittarius in this life. I love to travel, even though I don't get to go to other countries. I do love to travel, though. So that's
yeah.
still a part of me, that exploring, wanting to go here, wanting to go there. Yeah.
So usually, I've always sensed like it's generally around 100 years per Earth life is an
Okay.
average. So you have under that what I was sensing, which would make sense because life as an extraterrestrial is usually pushing 1,000 years, 500 to 1,000, depending on what happens. So
Okay.
that would make sense why it's lower Earth life compared to when you started. Going to there, it's well under. So that would indicate 5 to 10 extraterrestrial lives in between
Okay. 5 to 10.
being around.
Well,
But yeah, there's quite like, because generally I would where that
very
starts, I would probably be at least 30, 20 to 30 more lives, compared to when you started. So that's a that's 2,000 years to account for, basically. Two to
I really
five
hope I'm
thousand years.
done with this one. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. Let me just
Yeah,
move
well,
on and stay there, and let me be a spirit guide for somebody that I care about. Let me be able to have
yeah,
that.
we'll figure it all out.
Yep. Once we get there.
The biggest thing now is to be in with like-minded people,
Yeah.
be in love,
Be in love as always. Yes.
be in love. You know, there's
Accepting each
evil
other's
all over.
flaws when
There's
they
evil
pop
all
up.
over. We can
Men are
cast
all
them out
human.
of our
Yeah.
lives and our energy. Uh, like what you'd seen and heard so close to Buffalo with that shooting there at the grocery store. It's
Hmm.
going to affect us. It's going to be sad.
Yeah.
And those are things we have to deal with. And we think our existence that we weren't at that grocery store or affected,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
it's all about,
Because my great nieces and nephews' school would have been next on his list. So the
well,
people that did go first, even though it was brutal, I thank them for their sacrifice to keep that, because they kept my nieces and nephews safe. But still, it's hard.
yeah, it is hard. We descend, be in that love of those souls that have passed from there and the ones that were saved for their purpose. These evil people that do those things, they're actually, a loving soul just doesn't know on earth plane what they're doing. So we can, you know, as a human, be angry about it and upset, but always remember after we're done grieving to give that
Hmm.
soul that energy.
So yeah.
So I mean, even in our lives, people we disagree with, we can't get along with anymore, whatever it is. Everyone's the same soul. They just don't have the good learning process that we hope to achieve. And it doesn't mean we have to be around them. It's like you can be on your way, love and light, but your soul does not align with mine. The hardest part is with family, you know,
Hmm. Yeah.
when one family gets separated. But there's always an agreement there. Why?
Hmm.
We've either had issues of a past life where could have been if we had siblings or whatever,
Yeah.
we have a different scenario to play out this life and we don't agree and that's their destiny.
Yeah. I believe people like And sometimes I feel like he was a mother to me in a past life, and other family members, I feel like I was a different individual to them in a life in another family. So we all seem to come back, back and forth and play different roles for each other, I guess, to learn, and to grow.
You know, I always, I think we just travel in soul families. I really sense that.
Yeah.
We've all been, let's say we came down in Lemuria and we formed this little pack. You go around, oh, I'm going to go over here and start this civilization. And you meet other souls and you keep moving around. But every once in a while, let's say you had a great relationship with one soul back in Italy or something, 8,000 years ago, let's say,
Hmm.
and that person murdered you. So you had this hatred towards this person. You keep popping along their lives, and it's like, oh, I need to meet up with this person again, this soul again, to release that karma.
Hmm.
It's like it all comes back around at some point, whatever.
Hmm.
But we're meant to heal the ones within our own space.
Yeah.
Our lifetime ones, our lifetime souls we meet, whether you're dating, whether you're married, whether you're brother and sister, cousins, we need to heal them. And once you figure out how to heal them, that's where we evolve. And that's what it's all about.
Exactly. Ooh, yeah.
And then you got your great kitties to love and
He's jealous, Scott. He wants my attention. Doesn't want me to give you my attention. He wants it.
oh buddy.
It's okay. Yeah,
Oh
he caught
buddy.
me on my inner lip last night during my live. You gotta get down. So
Goofball.
yeah, get down. Alrighty.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Say goodbye to everyone and love and
Bye,
light to
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for
Love
taking
always.
the trip with me. Yep. Bye,
Yay.
everyone.
Bye.